Scheduled Planting and Harvest, Video 9. Hi, my name is Mariam. Welcome to our Kilimo instructional videos. In this video, we will start talking about how to make the best decision on the harvest date for your cassava crop. In an earlier video, we showed how you need to consider the weather to decide on your planting date. The weather during the first months after planting will determine how your crop establishes. Your crop should not suffer drought during the first 3 months. The storage roots start forming between 6 and 10 weeks after planting. If your crop suffers during that period, this will severely affect your yield at harvest. In the same way, the weather during the last months before harvest is very important and will affect your yield. Your crop requires water to store starch in the storage roots. This process is called bulking. Bulking starts very early but happens at high rates from about 6 months after planting. If your crop has sufficient water and the above ground canopy is well established. Generally, you need to carefully consider when the dry season occurs in your area. Your crop requires at least 3 months of good rainfall during the last 6 months before harvest to obtain a good yield. In some areas, when soils are deep and loamy, your soil can store a lot of water and your crop can continue growing and bulking even if it does not rain. You also need to consider how easy it will be to uproot your cassava roots if you intend to harvest during the dry season. In sandy soils, this can be fairly easy, but heavy soils can harden when dry and it can be strenuous to pull the roots up or roots may break. Remember from our earlier video, if you intend to harvest during the dry season, it's a good idea to grow your crop on ridges. Lastly, be careful also not to harvest when rains have resumed after a long dry period. Your crop will form a new canopy and grow new leaves. The cassava plants will use the starch stored in the roots, and this will reduce your yield and the starch content in the roots. We will show some examples in our next video of how your crop grows under different rainfall regimes. See you soon in our next video. At Kilimo, we know cassava.